Nikita, home Grand Prix and a new contract for 2022 to boot. All in all, looking forward to a good weekend?
It's a big Thursday for me. I've been coming to Sochi ever since the Grand Prix has started, and I remember the first time I came here, I was wearing Williams colours because that's the team that I was with at the time, and it's a dream come true to race in F1. It's a dream come true to race in F1 at home, and even more so today. I'm sure that I will be here at least for 2022, which is what an amazing day.
The focus for the team obviously has always been on 2022. Has that made the difficulties of this year slightly easier to cope with, that the team and you, I guess, have always been focused that this was just a transition period?
Yes and no, because I think that every single person in the team, including myself, we are real racers. We've done this for so long, and we won in the past. We know what the victory tastes like, and every time you go out there is a little bit of faith that maybe this time we can get in Q2. And obviously in the beginning of the year the opportunities were there to achieve those results. I think as the year goes by, it's slightly more difficult because the people around us, they're developing their cars, and we're just standing with what we got. But nevertheless, the season flies by so quick. Even though there's so many races, we just got to look forward. I've got my faith in next year's car. We've got amazing people that have joined our team, such as Simona Resta and many others that have achieved incredible success in the past. So I dream of having the success with those guys.
This year was always going to be about learning. The team's always said it was about that education for both you, for Mick, for everybody here. So what would you say are the biggest lessons that you have learned from 2021?
I don't really know where to start, because there's a saying that a driver has two big steps: is karting to Formula cars and Formula 2 to Formula 1. And previously I wasn't understanding what's so different, because obviously we come very well prepared. I've had a few days with F1 cars in the official testing, but realistically, whenever you get out there, even in Formula 1, in FP1, it's totally different to what I'm used to from testing. It's so much more complex, it's so much more intense. It's an unforgiving world as well. If you block somebody on a fast lap, not in qualifying sessions, it can be difficult to take that feedback from other people. And we hear everything from an engineer. We don't see anything in our mirrors because we travel so fast. So you got to project in your head where the other cars are and act responsibly. So loads to learn, but I really feel that I've got it in me, and 2022 should be a better start than 2021.
Talking about the start in 2021, the frustration was evident in those early races. How have you overcome that?
Well, simple to say, I didn't really ever stop trying, and I think when things don't go right, the only way to fix those is to just have another go, and then have another go, and have another go. And I think it's coming together really. Obviously it took us a while to work out that one of the chassis that I ended up having after the winter testing had to be written off because it wasn't doing what it was supposed to. So that affected in me having a few spins and an occasional crash. But nevertheless, the harder is in the beginning, the easier it's in the end. So I think my school has been pretty tough this year.
Because it's not just you that has applied pressure on yourself. There are people out there, fans, who actively want you to fail. This is your dream, to get to Formula One. How have you dealt with that side of the sport, that kind of reaction to you?
Well, for me, this is nothing new. Because of me living slightly different than to other racing drivers. For example, I've never dropped out of school. I'm still in university, and I've not been testing as much. I've not been communicating as much with other racing drivers because I had to fly back after the race to go to school on Monday. I've always been slightly different, and now people know me more, but I'm still having to deal with the same stuff. And people said when I was in karting that I won't make it to the senior level, and I did, and I was the vice world champion. Then 2019 was a tough year. To then being in the championship fight, one of the 3 drivers to take it to the last race of the year in Bahrain, and there's been all these things when people said it's not going to happen, and then it has happened. So I think we live in an amazing world. You know, we get to live the life to go into a paddock and do what we really enjoy. So in my life, there is no time to be sad and not smiling.
And you're still not afraid to get your elbows out either. The Nikita from the junior formulas that we recognize, the guy who has gone out and won races. You're still a hard racer out on track, even if, as you said, the car isn't capable of fighting for much more than like a P18, P17.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I'm here to fight for my positions, and I'm here to make a good show for the fans, because ultimately they are the people that make us be here. You know, without them, the championship wouldn't exist. So I'm a strong believer that as a driver you shouldn't give up on your positions, and generally in life you should never give up. So, you know, you need to do what's within the rules, of course, and make sure that, you know, the safety is a concern that you take care about. But, you know, if I have a little try to defend on a track like Zandvoort from cars that are way quicker than mine, like Sergio Perez and Sebastian Vettel, who knows, maybe the race gets stopped. Maybe that is the day when we take that points that we are dreaming of, and then, you know, hundreds of people back in a factory go back to their families and really lift themselves up. So you never know when that day might come, but I'll keep trying.